All right, we're back for class number 10. We're going to be doing another guillotine defense today, but we're really kind of shifting topics on one of the positions we're going to be covering, and that's going to be side control. Okay, so our guillotine defense will go to side control today, and we'll see some different ways to control side control, and then also move to mount. Okay, so we want to be able to maintain that position, and we want to be able to transition from there. And that's going to be the mainstays of today's class. So the guillotine defense also, it's a throw. Like we've seen throws several times already if you're on class 10. And we've also seen since class 1 how to break fall. Okay, yukimi or ukimi is the Japanese term for when we slap the mat. So we're going to go over just forward rolls today, right? So that's going to be when Mike is throwing me and when I'm throwing him, I'm going to be executing a forward roll because of the technique that's being performed on me, okay? So we're gonna do some different extrapolations of the forward roll, and then we're gonna apply that when we start doing that takedown, okay? So Micah, just, it's kind of the most elementary way to do it. I want you to start with the forward roll on your knees, right? So just kind of roll down to where the mats come together here, right? Just alternate sides, forward roll, right from the like a seiza position is what we call that when you're down, okay? Go ahead. Nice, good. Always trying to roll in a straight line, that was really good. You roll over your left, slap the right, and vice versa, okay? Now do the same thing, but start from a squatting position. So you just squat down and same thing. Good. Straight line. Okay, now let's go ahead and do from the standing position. Now, here's going to be the inclination a lot of times. I see this when we do it just in the regular beginner class, like when we have the group class, is people will do this and they'll just kind of rock up to their knees naturally. They don't stop and do the slap. We're going to do that come up after the roll next. But I want you to do a standing, but be sure, when I do this, watch how, you ever skip a creek cross? Yeah. Right? Watch how my body skids across the floor. If and I'm just gonna try and get to, you can really like do a jump in the air forward roll and propel yourself forward and skip multiple times. But watch here, right? So I'm starting standing here. See that, Okay, so I just want to see that, that standing forward roll, and if you get that little, you did it right. If you don't get it, it's just because you're not making a high impact, really. It's like the higher impact, but when you get thrown, you execute a good forward roll. It might still be high impact, but the virtue of the break fall is it makes that better for us. Okay, so standing forward roll. Good, up in a good base. Again, laughing because you forgot how to get up in base. I like it. Good, coming back. It's all right. We strive for perfection around here. That's why they say martial arts and discipline's a thing. Nice. Okay. Now, the goal is not to slap. Right? There's just some application on this. Because it teaches you to complete the circle, follow through, flow with the go, whatever you want to say. You're just using that momentum to come up to standing. Like I said, people do it naturally, but when we're trying to practice going to the mat, it's not something we want to work on. Here, this is a full-on understanding of our forward roll is what we're trying to gain from here. So all right. Go ahead, running roll. Good, come back with it. Nice, all right, this will look funny on camera. They call this the running roll in the judo book. All right, running roll. Nice, dude, from starting the black mat there too, same thing. Kind of dive into it. Nice. See, you get a little that momentum there. See, we don't want to just stop it every time because not getting slammed to the concrete every time, right? So again, there's some application on just continuing that momentum. We do that in defense and in several techniques. People have ways to describe it, the hitchhike, right? Like, oh, I tipped you over and just so happens while you were falling, I caught a ride.
Right.
And I didn't have to do anything. I just kind of rode the momentum, right? Like you see in like movies, Back to the Future, Marty has the skateboard and he's holding onto the car or the hoverboard, either one, right? So, forward roll, that's good. Now, next thing we need to get into on this is the next 3 classes we're getting into a certain type of punch defense, okay? So go ahead and just get into this, right? You've seen this, go ahead and deflect, just forearms, deflect, deflect the haymaker with the forearm coming out, yes, come out with it, cover block the hook, yes. So we've seen all that, okay? We've set some clinches up off of it, we've done some elbows off of it. We've even seen, I'm gonna walk in and do the haymaker and go under it, okay? We've even seen this. Boom. Yes, good job, okay. This is what in striking we would call a parry, okay? All we're gonna do is deflect with our palm out of the way, right? And then I'm gonna move down past their arm. Okay, so we're just gonna do that from just like our normal situation, and then we'll do a reflex drill where I'm walking towards you, okay? So step in a little bit, hands are up, you got your triangle here. Okay, I'm gonna punch with this hand. I want you to parry it out of the way, and then I just want you to just do that only right now, okay? So here, boom, 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 think of it, boom. Add a little weight to it, so it's a twist and a push past here, okay? Boom, 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 good, boom, okay? Throw your punch at me again, so here. Right, so boom, right there. So I'm moving my head over here a little bit, even though I'm twisting, okay? And the twisting, don't exaggerate it a ton, because what we're about to start doing with this, throw your punch again, is here. I wanna go down that line as I pass it. So I like my head to be moving out of the center here, boom. And it's a body clinch. Or as we'll see in the next 2 classes, a single leg takedown or double leg takedown, okay? So just pass it and move your head a little bit. Pass and move your head. Don't move your arm too much, pass and move your head. Oh, that was better. Let's go this side. Boom. Boom. Yes. Good, okay. Now, I want you to pass and I want you to come in for the clinch, okay? So throw this punch at me again. Here, boom. Do it again. Here. So I can step with either foot to come in. So if I'm in a stance here, I can also step that way, okay? Now, we're not worried about this today, but as you do something like this, go ahead and punch. See, I kind of, and imagine I'm stepping as I kind of drag you, so do that again. All right, just amplifies the situation a little bit for my betterment, okay? So I always want you to parry, get off the line and step in. Parry, get off the line and step in. If your head's over here, you got the punch there, don't over exaggerate it, all right? So then I won't be able to stay on base, okay? So here, I'm gonna go this side. Good. Good, we'll just alternate back and forth like that. Good. Mm-hmm. Nice, okay? So you got a rear clinch. That's what we've seen in previous classes, so I love that you're just, it's just like when I go into the haymaker. That makes everything easier for us. When it's like, oh yeah, it is the same. I mean, I've been saying this with several things in different classes I know you've been to. It's like, when we learn how to do the movements, we learn how to defend punches or whatever the main thing is. It doesn't become all these different techniques anymore. It becomes this one thing, a concept, right? That, hey, well, I'm not that bad at that. I know what to do there, right? So you start, being able to extrapolate strategy and more advanced techniques because you got the foundation. Okay, good job on that punch defense. Remember that because we're going to be moving forward with that again on the single and double entries, okay? And we'll get into specifics on how we're stepping for what. All right, so good job on defending against straight punches to the face. Overhands to the face, hooks, rounded punches. We got to be able to deal with all that. You just never know. And I mean, it was like when I was growing up in high school and stuff, it's like you knew the kids in school, in high school, teenagers that boxed. There were 3 or 4 of them, right? And it's just like, if you didn't box or do martial arts, like they had street cred, It's just like, oh, well, I don't want to get in a tussle with that dude. Punch me in the face, right? But imagine, okay, you do striking also, but for people that don't, right? Oh, okay, that boxer in the street that maybe had amateur fights when they were in high school. That's now, a really upset 25-year-old adult is giving me problems for no reason. And I know how to defend punches. That's just such a benefit, okay? So we've seen a lot of different ways to do that, and we'll really be bringing those together again as we move forward. Okay, so next thing we need to do is get into our guillotine defense. We've seen a couple of standing guillotines. We also saw the defense where we're here, right? So that was 2 classes ago. Here's the problem. If you start leaning forward and putting your chest on my back, I can't get over your shoulder anymore, okay? So think about that. Put me here, and then like hips back, and then like bend at the waist a little bit and drop weight on my back. See, that's not effective anymore, okay? Like if I was trying to do it, like I just can't reach your leg. Go ahead, let go. I can't reach your leg. I can't get to the side. I don't have base. We also saw the reposture defense, where we open our chest up and go under. That's not going to be an option there every time either. Sometimes we can drop to our knee and make it work if there's a lot of pressure. We'll see some stuff about that in other classes. But here, what we need to deal with is finding base, okay? So that's like every class, we're like, hey, find and maintain base in this situation, okay? So when someone gets you in a guillotine and their hips are back, right? First off, you are susceptible to a knee right now, okay? If he picks that knee up, boom. So I like this idea just as a defense to the knee, okay? Walk back a little bit so we'll be in the center. So here, I'm taking a V grip, putting my hands together. My thumbs are going on top of my index and middle finger and behind my index and middle finger. It's a V grip is what we call it. Okay, so I'm putting that here to avoid the knee. Okay, I don't want that knee to go through. That's why I'm particular about the details on the gripping. Okay, so here, the next thing I want to do, I don't have posture. Like just sitting here talking to you guys, like my low back's like, what are we doing? All right, so I need to find posture. I need to get better posture. I don't want to bear this weight. So I'm stepping in here with this V grip. This brace is here. Now I've got some base. Okay, now what I can do is start sitting back. And Micah, all I want you to do is just a forward roll. The safety tip is here, guys. This is an occupied hand. So he's gonna roll over that shoulder. He's gonna post his other hand on the mat to help him with that process. So you're gonna post roll, all right? So all I wanna do right now is for you to take the throw. Does that make sense? Okay, so here I've got good base, like you feel like I sink down there, got good base. Now I'm gonna sit down here. Right? That was more me sitting down with the posture I'd obtained than a raise with the V grip. That's just more of a guide to continue his roll, okay? It's that sitting back and maintaining posture, okay? So he gets me in the front headlock again, standing guillotine, but he's got his hips back and weight on me, okay? So I need a V grip, find some base. Now I'm sitting back here and I throw. So all we want to worry about right now is throwing to right here. Here in a second, we'll add on, we'll start coming up, okay? So I want you to throw me a time or two, and then we'll add coming up, going to mount, and then we'll start looking at some ways to control that side control position. Because this throw, this standing guillotine defense, it puts us right in a good side control, okay? So, let's see here. I have the hand injury, so this is what we want right here. All right, so I want you to first V grip so you don't catch the knee here. Yes. Okay, now, the next thing we want to do is step a foot in the center. And when you do that, try and get some posture. See how you're still bent over? Yeah, go back though. So like get that, so step and lower yourself. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad, right? Proud chest when you do that too, watch. Here, I'm all the way bent over. Boom, right? It just, watch, boom. Like I pretty much get it back. But because of how far away you are from me, that taking the back is not as much of an option. Okay, so. Can't knee, and then right, step inside and posture. Good, but we're not standing up with our posture. Stay crouched down, go back. Step in, stay crouched, but head up, good. Now, here's what I want you to do. Sit back, keeping your posture in that spinal shape, right? Go ahead, and raise. Good. Okay, so here. Nice. Yes, good. A little, I go back. Okay, when you do that, crouch a little bit more as you're coming in. That's what, yes, that's your hips under you that time. Okay, and once the, good on that leg. Watch what I do with my second leg. Here. Okay, so, boom. It's almost like our 4-point base, but just real low, real defensive posture. Okay. So again, you know, you want to get under my center of gravity a little bit. Yeah, I am right here. Okay, so let me give you like this. Okay, here, step in. Boom. Good. Now sit back. Good. Okay. Now what we need to do is maintain control and come up into side control. Okay. So here, boom. I sit back, roll. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to thread the needle as I come up to the north-south position. My arm over here is under his arm on the far side. Okay, so that's where we're stopping for now, is north-south. So guys, side control to me, and a lot of other people, it's like a comprehensive term that denotes everything around the body, right? Even in the sport, you get points for passing guard and getting side control. But side control could be, you know, half a dozen hand placements with your body here, your hips switched either direction, this north-south position. Sometimes, and we'll see here, they're kind of on their side facing away from you. So it's like a rear control of side control. We'll call it rear side mounting. Okay? So when I say side control, that's usually a broad term. And then within all of that, I just said like, hey, north-south, that's a position within side control. So I want everybody to kind of try and delineate that. Like side control, it can involve us having our hips turned either way, holding our hands in a couple of different ways with my chest down on them, right? So side control is a big term. Then we have different delineations of that, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to throw. You're gonna thread the needle, come up to north-south, right? Which is one of our little sub positions within side control. And this throw goes to it quite nicely, okay? All right. I've got you in the standing guillotine here. Good. Sit back. Good. Now, thread the needle. Yes. Come up as you do that. Nice. Now, so you came over on this side, arm under here. So here in a second, and this is, you know, maybe you're offside or whatever, but here in a second when we start going to mount, just so you know, you would go to mount on this side, okay? Because your arm's under on this side, all right? So the transition we're gonna do to mount, go ahead and switch to a reverse Kessa. You know what I'm saying? So swing this hip through, like you're gonna step over to mount, go back. Swing your hip through to this hip. Yes, like that, okay? So now you've got a route where you can transition to mount here. That's what we're gonna be adding on next. But it's, you know, you landed, because again, we're doing one side for me. But you landed on this side with your arm under. So that means you would step over to mount from this side, okay? So just kind of think about whatever side you have your arm under on, typically your body's on that other side, so you go to mount, all right? Good transition there, let's do it again. Here, boom. Sit back, nice, thread the needle, good, boom, nice. So this is north-south. Go ahead and set your hip back through to reverse Kessa, okay, nice. We'll see here in a minute where our hips are the other way in a different technique, okay? So here, he's got weight on my upper body, my chest and my shoulders, and then see how I can move this arm a little bit, Micah? Raise your elbow up over my head. See, now I can't move it as much. Very good, okay. So let's do the throw again. Come up to that same spot. North-south, then switch your hips to reverse Kessa, okay? Here. Needle thread, nice. Sit through, reverse Kessa, nice. Okay, now let's just see if you know this detail. Let's turn a little bit. Okay, go to mount with the step over. So yeah, step over to mount. You don't know, good. That means you'll learn today.
I think I know.
What do you think it is?
Where you like grab your foot and stuff?
Well, you can do that. That can mitigate what I'm talking about. But you just said it. We need to lead with the foot.
Mm-hmm.
If you lead with the knee on a stepping over, they can just catch it. I couldn't even see you, right? But I was like, all right, Micah, go to mount. And I felt you go to move to mount, and then I was like, right? Sometimes pulling the foot across can disguise that, but that's more so they don't feel your motion start. And then, you know, again, you can't see it. But still, I was able to kind of go, whoa, swallow that up with my legs, which can really steal your momentum. Like, dude, you just, what a glorious day. You got out of my standing guillotine choke, and you threw me. I'm gonna say, like, I got hit with this one time, and it turned into like a pile driver. Like, I went up in the air like that, and then over backwards, and got mat burn, right? So, but you did a sweet move. Guillotine escape, awesome. Rolled them over, started coming up to north-south, you're winning. You got side control, there's mount. Missed one detail, got caught in half guard, quarter guard, whatever it is. Now you're like, and two, don't get frustrated about that, like you still had all that other good stuff. That people ruin people's training day because they did 10 awesome things and one bad thing, right? So you say, oh, okay, well, you know what? The only reason that would get messed up is because of a detail we're missing, right? And the detail is leading with your foot. So, like, imagine if I'm, lay down here real quick. This is gonna come up again on the transition we do from side control. So just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. That's leading with the foot. This is leading with the knee. Look what it does. All right, so if I'm just gonna step over, it gives it to you. But if I lead with the foot, it doesn't. And that's the key detail. So when you throw, and you come up to north-south, and you have arm under either side, you set through the reverse Kessa, and I want you to lead with the foot. You don't grab it or anything like that. For this, I mean, that's a little more intermediate, like, yeah, it's super elementary, but the first one I want you to know is this one, right? Or, assume you're a white belt beginner class, right? You've been training a little while, you're like, I want to know all of them. So that makes you a different student. That's why you're card belt. You're more capable of learning more of them, okay? And we're giving you guys a couple ways to go to mount here today, right? So, but there's a lot of ways, right? So, the big detail on stepping over though, you can do that in a variety of ways, methods, is to lead with the foot, okay? And sit back, nice. North, south, good, reverse Kessa, good, control, nice, lead with the foot. Go back, reverse Kessa. So from here, take your right knee and put it against my hip. Nice. Now, feel how connect your knee to my body and connect your hand to my body. And think about connecting your hand to your knee. You won't do it, obviously, but think about my body is the in-between. You're clamping it. Yeah, good. All right, now, your left foot is gonna go to mount. Lead with the foot. Okay, go. Good, and look how you got my arm pinned right there. Later class, we'll see a gift wrap. Okay, it's right there. Okay, go back to north-south. All right. Arm under, sit through to reverse Kessa, so your hip is here. Good. Okay, now, kind of control that wiggle. Good. Now your left foot, and this can help you a little bit too. Slide some weight over. Yeah, it was like, go back to where you were. It's like across my body, right? So just like that, yeah, just a little bit. Now, okay, you control my shoulders. Okay, now with that left knee up, lead with the foot in front of it. Oh, that was really good. Now look at what you got here. This thing I would normally frame with. How am I going to build a frame? Right? What I would like is that. Right? But I'm not going to be able to get that. You're going to be able to get a gift wrap or start transition around technical mount, take my back. Something like that. Okay? So, that's the idea. Do that again. Under the armpit here if you can. We're gonna do it by the ear on when we do side control in a second, okay? It's just under the armpit for this throw and for north-south. Okay, sit through. Reverse Kessa, that's good. That's a good pin. Lean that weight over me, very good. Now lead with the foot. I just can't stop it. Like I tried the last 2 times to like, not only time it, but it's like I couldn't move to time it, It's like it's not there anyway. Like it's only there when it comes right over between my knees.
Yeah, I feel bad going over with the foot because I can feel myself like putting all that weight on your face.
Hey, what's what we're doing here, dude? Look, I hadn't been having weight put on my face for 17 years in a row. Oh, you're so sweet. Yeah, I know you wish that I was that way, but I don't feel bad about it anymore. Boy wrote that. Okay. Anyway, we're joking around. Be a good training partner, right? Here's the thing. I want everybody to know how to add pressure. That's a skill. And that is a skill that people come in here to learn, right? Like, hey, Brian, show me how to make someone want to quit without even submitting them. That's a component of what we do. Like, if you have the best positional control, to what we're like, low mount, side control, what we're doing next, people will want to quit. I've tapped 2 people recently with mount. They just low mount, they couldn't get out, and just brutal, they try harder, and just eventually exhausted, done. To a position. Kessa's like that. It's, but yeah, when you add that weight, it is like wielding a power, right? And that's one of the things, like when we talk about connection, distribution of weight, base, right? We don't feel it as much when we do it from standing as like pressure we're applying to our partner. But on the ground, because we got this thing here stopping us, right? We feel it a lot more, okay? So that's the guillotine defense with the throw over, some details on base, throwing to a position and maintaining that next position, okay? So we'll get into doing some side control drills next and talk about controlling that position and then also some different ways that we can transition them out. Okay, so we're gonna go over maintaining side control, all right? So we wanna be able to add weight. We wanna be able to control the position when somebody's gonna just try and, move and get out, right? Whether that's trying to bench press you off or do a big bridge and buck you off, whatever's gonna happen. We need to understand some of the basics behind how to control that position. And this would be like when we talk about base, right? How can we stay connected? Well, staying connected kind of may involve disconnecting sometimes, right? But that doesn't mean we can't disconnect to add weight somewhere, right? Or disconnect with, my chest to add, weight to my shoulders, etc. Okay. So we're gonna control head, arm, side control today, and then we're gonna see transitioning to mount with the knee sliding across. And then we're gonna move to cross side control. And we're gonna see stepping over to mount, kind of like what we saw with the takedown, okay? So that's what's on the agenda. First off, let's go over just head arm control without me doing anything. I just want to kind of get some components put in your head arm. So like knees down, side mount. Yeah, there you go. Good, like this, okay. So think about your base with your legs. Your knees are apart and your feet are together in the back. It makes like a triangle, okay? You could be live toes, or you could be tops of your feet, right? And if you're live toes, you just stay down on this one, right? But yeah, this feels pretty solid. You got your hands together over here, right? Put a little more of your weight over my jaw. Just move weight. Yeah, yes, good. And the same thing here, like move your upper body up a little bit or your lower body up a little bit. Yes, good, right? That's good. That added a lot of control to my head. So the shoulder controls the head. And think about the head. If my body was a lever, the head is the end of the lever, right? So where the head goes, the body follows, right? So you've got, you want that even pressure up here. Good, okay? You got hands together. And now let's talk about posture, okay? So I want you to think about rounding your spine a little bit. Yes, good. That lifted your chest up off me, but it actually made your shoulder come a little more here, right? And I'm poking out so I can talk, right? But do that again. Yeah, see, that just adds a lot of, it affects the way that I'm speaking if it's on my shoulder, okay? So that's one little component, right? We want to have like a cat spine, right? A cat back. And then the other is like if you've ever practiced yoga, you got the cat and the cow, right? Or the cobra stretch, right? That's where you have a proud chest, right? Good, and that adds weight too. Okay, so go rounded spine. I felt some weight on that, right? And it's here, right? Think about your head, when you round your spine, your head kind of draping over my shoulder over here. Do that again. Even better, even better. Now, expand your chest, cobra spine, yes, good, nice, your cow, okay? So that's kind of the idea, but when do we do those things, right? Well, we need to do them in time. Techniques have time, right? So if I am turning in or if I'm turning away, that's what we're trying to figure out with these first two elements of controlling the position, right? I'm either going to turn in and don't really react, and I might, like recover my guard or something. There's a technique we teach in this class. Okay, so here, I also might turn away, okay? And there's some transitions where if he's trying to go to mount or something, I could escape by turning away, okay? But if the moral of the story is if he just tries to hold me down and doesn't make adjustments, as I try and do those things, he may lose the position, And it might just be simple. It might just be, I just, throw him off of me and get out, created some space with a bench press, okay? So here's what I want you to think about. If I'm turning in, that means this shoulder is coming off of the mat. And this shoulder here is going back that way, okay? So what I want you to do is when I try and turn in, I want you to round your spine, yes. Oh, that got because of what I was doing, that got incredibly heavy, right? It's not this round spine right here. I feel the weight, but it's not as uncomfortable. Okay, go back to neutral. Now, when I go to bridge, I want you to round that spine, and I'm just gonna start slow. Good, relax. When I stop, you stop. Okay, now, don't round your spine. See, I just bench pressed you away, right? And got some space, got your chest up off me, okay? So that's a kind of component of control here, okay? So that rounding of the spine, if I'm trying to turn in to do something like recover my guard, okay? If I'm trying to turn away, right? You can add weight on the inside shoulder. So turning away involves getting my inside shoulder off the mat. Okay, so what I want you to do here is go with that cobra shape in your spine, right? That cow. All right, so yes, and relax. Good. Good. Okay, now let's interplay. I want to turn in, then I want to turn away. So I want you right now, just relax. Right now you're neutral. Right? You're controlling, but you're not like just, staying full on, like I'm gonna pin you here and hold you here. You got head, arm, side mount. I'm about to start trying to escape. If I turn in, right, you're gonna go cat. If I turn away, you're gonna go cow, right? Yeah, now I'm going away. Good. I'm turning in. Good, and you go back to neutral, and I turn away, turning in, nice, good, go ahead and release, very good. It's not that hard, but here's what we forget about things like that, right? They think like, okay, yeah, I know how to hold someone down that pin, and then they go to doing things, and you're like, oh man, I didn't remember to address that, like what if they do this? And then we get to believing perhaps also that the pin's not working because of, something that we, it's like, it's something that we missed, but we're like, I don't like that pin. It doesn't work for me. It's not, but it's like one little detail we're missing usually, right? We might not be changing our posture as they try and escape it in a certain way.
Could be timing.
Yeah, it's timing. So that's the best way to understand. So if we understand timing, that's something we can start and look at all techniques and say, okay, what's the timing on that? Okay. So let's go back to transitioning over now. Actually, there's one more little piece of this, okay, that we will add on. And we always called this, when I was coming up through the belts, digging out the arm. Okay, you want to hold somebody and control them. Okay, so just adding this on. You feel that? That's an issue, okay? You're gonna have to deal with that, all right? So how you can deal with it, have that head arm. If I start trying to turn on my side, and let's say I got a little bit like that. Switch your hips towards Kessa, but keep your head arm. Okay, good, nice. I like how you cut the shoulder pressure, okay? Now, slide your hips north along the floor a little bit, but stay heavy here. Just slide them like this, and then now go back to side mount. This is way worse. Okay, go back. Okay, go back to normal. So I got my frame in here. All right, I can do some things with that frame. So I have a head arm. Keep the weight here. Sit through the Kessa and slide you up under my shoulder a little bit. Yes, now switch back. Good. Now get your pressure, right? Roll it away. Cobra. Nice. Turning in, cut back, good. So much pressure. And I'm way bigger than you. But that's always been the marketing tactic on jiu-jitsu. It's like, hey, you smaller person, you want to beat up bigger people? Go do jiu-jitsu. Like Larry, funny story, Carlos Gracie, one of the founders, pioneers of the art. He put an ad out in the newspaper when they first opened their academy. It's like, you want to get punched in the face? You want to get your arm broken? Come here at this place and this time, and I'll show you jiu-jitsu. And that was like the origin of them, the Gracie Challenge, you know. So it's a funny part of the history, but they figured out that wasn't the best way to get people to come try a class, right? But that's, again, you know, that's like the power you come to wield with this. All right, lay right here, head facing that way. Okay, so head arm side mount. You can't obtain that strong face control and also slide your knee across to mount without making some adjustments, okay? And the adjustment is gonna be this, okay? So you got a good head arm side mount, and I'm going to slide this knee across. I wanna have some weight here. I'm not in a hurry is another thing. I'm sliding this across, and then I need to put this out, okay? That's so you don't just hit me with the Upa escape as I'm doing this in this bridge and roll, okay? So I'm coming out, I'm not in a hurry here, and I just transition that over, okay? So you have good head arm control. You start sliding here, I'm leaning here, keeping that weight on your face as I transition, right? But yeah, it's like you felt the pressure focus when I was like keeping my weight on you. But if I keep the head arm, I can't do that. It's too exploitable, okay? So get here. You got good head arm, okay? Good. Now, go ahead, start sliding this knee across. Don't get in a hurry. Just keep that head kind of draped over my shoulder. Good, good. Now, breathe. Here's where you need to put your hand out. Yeah. See, I can't do anything. You're good. Now, start kind of, as you go to flip this over, and you're still not in a hurry, I want you to transfer some weight to my head as you move your head over. Yes. Very good. Back again. Head arm. Good. Yes. Slide across. Still not in a hurry. Nice. Very good. Really raise my chin up on that one. I like that. Right. Elongates my. Here. Nobody likes getting traction unless you're usually your back's messed up if you're getting traction. So anyway, but like a paper cutter choke. All right. Okay. Now let's just transition this way. This is what we already saw. Put me in cross side. Here. Okay. So not getting into the positional control as much here. What I want you to show and do is the same concept we talked about. You got to remember always lead with the foot, not the knee. If we're sliding the knee across, guess what? We're leading with the knee. Like you can't lead with the foot. But if we're stepping over, right, we're leading with the foot. So here, this is cross side control. All right? Now, do you feel this? I want you to just drop your hip on it. See, that can press my elbow a little bit. Now sit through to reverse Kessa. Slide your right knee, or your left knee, I mean, rather, to my hip, your bottom knee. Yes, good. Remember, you got the little pinch here. Good. Nice. Keep that knee connected. Yes, good. Now slide a little bit of my weight, your weight across my body. Yes, good. That's good. Okay. Now lead with the foot, step over. Good. Very good. Go back. Cross body. Okay. So if you feel that this could be a problem, like we talked about earlier, So sprawl your hip, kick your leg back. That compressed my elbow a little bit. And not that I wasn't gonna keep trying to bench press you off. Okay, now switch your hips, bringing your knee to my hip. Inside a little weight across my body, across my chest. Yes, very good. Okay, now lead with that foot. Good. Okay, so that's the step overs. Simple. So let's recap. Guillotine defense. One of the biggest things that I love about this whole program and about jiu-jitsu in general is it teaches you to be comfortable in headlocks, whether that's from the side, the front, guillotine chokes. Those are some of the worst spots to be in. I tell people the only time I got cauliflower ear was pulling out of the guillotine. So, good to have defenses because then we can practice those defenses and gain that comfort. Okay, then we saw throwing, transition north-south, start seeing parts of side control in a little more depth, north-south, stepping over. Always leading with the foot if we're stepping over from cross side. And then we saw sliding across from head arm. So we actually learned 3 new positions today, right? Head arm side control, cross side control, north-south, right? And a new technique from the feet for the throw. Okay, that's a good class. We'll see everybody next time.